Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Eve.
All
Yes.
right. Great. Great. Welcome, everybody. Let me pull up the blog here. And this morning, we'll have a guest. Roland, good morning. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me get through with my opening remarks, and we'll let you have the microphone.
Sure.
And what do I have today? April 16th, 2025. Welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate. Here's the social media blog of the day. And there's a bunch of new ones on the system. So check those out and get that out there. This is these people are making the plans of the century with Century 21. So I presume that's in their backyard. Backyard of a house they're happy to have just bought. Look at that. So check out what's there and keep these posted throughout the entire year because it's a great ad campaign. Nobody has anything like it. And people need to see it. And they need to see it from Northstar agents. All right, so check that out. And of all the skills we do, I really like this one. Our ability to ask questions is one of the most prominent, one of the most important that we can ever do. And it's a bit of a challenge because we happen to be in an industry that is centered around everybody making big, bold, and sometimes aggressive statements all the time. And I don't know, in my career, for some reason, I've seen a lot of realtors in action. And I don't know if everybody gets the opportunity to do that. But it's amazing the ones who won't shut up, like we were talking about in the last meeting. When you're with a client, that really is time to listen. That's your opportunity to listen. So the way to do that is by asking questions. By asking good questions, you learn what's important to the prospect and how to deal with their concerns. Learn what's important. If we don't ask, we never really understand what's important to the customer. After all, we all know what's important to us, and the customer is always right. So if we know and we don't ask, then how can we really deal with those concerns? Good questions show the prospect that you're truly interested in them. And I think that's very true. That's how you show you're taking an interest in somebody. Most of the world doesn't feel like they're being heard these days. So we should ask a lot of questions, which demonstrates the level of interest that they may need. They feel like they're being heard. And you've ever caught yourself on a listing presentation where you've been presenting away, making big statements. You get finished. The seller says, well, we need to think about it for a while. You call back, find out they listed with someone else. And if you have the courage to ask why, which rarely we do, they'll say something like, we just felt better with the other agent. It's possible that they felt more heard with the other agent. So, again, very important to ask questions. Asking good questions gets the prospect involved and thinking about a decision. It gets them from being presented to participating in what's going on. And logic makes people think, and emotion makes them act. And we want their emotions involved too. If we ask a lot of questions and we get them involved. Asking questions draws out their questions and the objections that they're experiencing. They always have objections. They always have something in their mind, and they may not bother to tell you. And especially if you're just rattling on at a fast pace, giving them what you think is information that they should have. And it's not on this, but it's only a courtesy. It's only out of respect that you ask them questions to find out what they don't know or what they would like to know from you instead of just reading them of the book. So if you learn to ask questions, it'll draw out from them what their objections are, what the real hangup is on getting them to move further with you, what challenges they think they have with hiring you as a real estate agent. And then you can handle those things. I don't know if you've been on, yeah, if you've been on a presentation where the seller is just there smiling and nodding and nothing ever comes out. They never object, they never complain, they never bring their concerns. and those people don't sign a contract either. Asking great questions is an effective way to change someone's perspective. Asking great questions. So, what I know is if you preach to someone and you just talk to someone, it's really hard to change their beliefs at all. But if you'll ask questions and they start to think about the answers, and then those answers actually change their perspective about it. And finally, it separates you from the competition. I know this to be a fact. It's a rare skill to ask questions, to ask the right questions, and to draw out the issues. So the easiest way to win is to do things differently than your competition. Is it likely that your competitors will just simply make big, bold statements in their presentation? Will they just talk about marketing, just talk about themselves? It's pretty likely. Well, they're trained to do it. Oh, don't forget to say this. Always tell them about your listing presentation. Always tell them about the magazine you're in. Always tell them what you're going to. So they forget to ask questions. So if you want to separate yourself, you're the agent that comes in and all you do is ask questions. How much time are you spending working on your ability to ask questions? Because that's what we train on in our morning sessions, in our 9 o'clock morning sessions. Everything we have as far as a script and a method and talking points and things like that, everything that we do is question based. So let's work on that. Let's take advantage of what's continuing to be a strong real estate market and treat your business like a business. And today we're going to review statistics. We're going to get you caught up on the market and the interest rates and the mortgage programs and all kinds of neat stuff. But Roland, you're welcome to take the microphone and
Okay.
tell us what you'd like to say.
Sure. Well, thanks to Mr. Lee for inviting me. And I just wanted to spend a few minutes this morning and introduce myself. Again, my name is Roland Zapata, and I'm the owner of Ideal Property Inspections. We're based here out of Multnomah Village, and we've been in business now since 2016. Some of the services we provide are uh, residential and commercial inspections. We also do radon testing as well as infrared. Uh, we have been very fortunate to work with many great realtors. We've actually worked with a few from your office over the past number of years, and it's been a really good collaboration and partnership. As far as my business territory, I travel from Portland all the way down to Salem and from Astoria down to Lincoln City. So it's a great large area, and I'm available 6 days a week. I'm also available on Sundays as well if your client really has a need for a Sunday inspection. Uh, how I got into this business is kind of a long, drawn out process, but after about 20 years of being in corporate America, there was a buyout being offered, and I thought this is my one chance to take advantage of it and be my own owner operator. So I jumped at it, and I thought, well, of all things I could be doing, what seems to make the most sense? And my dad was a general contractor and remodeler, so this is a really easy transition for me. So I started my company in 2016, and the first couple of years, like any business, were a little tough. You kind of learn what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. But in year three, I really kind of found my stride and really was doing well. Did especially well during the COVID pandemic. But the last year has been a little challenging, as we all know, with the housing market the way it is. But I would say in the last 3 or 4 weeks, the call volume and number of bookings has actually increased. So for me, that's quite encouraging. So again, just wanted to take a few minutes to introduce myself. There are business cards on the desk as you walk in the door. And if any of you have any questions, I'm available to take them right now.
Well,
Do
I
you
have
work
a
in
question.
Washington?
Well, go ahead, Shauna.
I was going to ask, do you work in Washington as well, in Vancouver?
I don't. It's strictly in Oregon.
Okay. I work in both. I was just curious.
But he will go to the coast.
Yeah, we'll go
Yes.
coast.
That's very nice. That's very nice. What are some of the issues you're seeing? I know I'm always saying things come up in real estate as like fads. And you never know if something's going to be a fad. I think cleaning vacuuming the HVAC systems, I don't see that as much as I used to see. But I know radon came up one day, and it turned out not to be a fad. It came up to be a serious issue. And I know some parts of town still have oil tanks. What kinds of things are you seeing that are unusual?
Well, I will say that with respect to radon, that is probably one of the most difficult things to try and convince your clients that radon is a very real danger out there. Um, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Historically, Southeast and Northeast have the highest concentrations of radon, particularly Southeast. Uh, you hear stories of people who are diagnosed with lung cancer, but they've never smoked a day in their life. And it's usually because radon is the number one culprit. The other thing is that I see that is really kind of interesting to sellers is that basic home maintenance really kind of falls by the wayside until it's time to sell. And the things that I find out there are really amazing. Gutters, um, HVAC systems that haven't been cleaned out in years, uh, crawl spaces that are just full of debris and really don't have any vapor barriers, lack of insulation, which they thought they had, or they'll find out that the insulation they have is not particularly efficient. So they might have vermiculite, and they never knew what that was up there. They just thought it was insulation. They didn't really worry about it. I really don't run into a whole lot of asbestos anymore, as I used to maybe 9 years ago, which is encouraging. But I do get a lot of questions about lead paint testing as well.
Do you see oil tanks still?
I saw one recently, but it was above ground.
Huh?
But I would say the number of oil tanks underground are getting fewer and fewer, and it's only when I'm out in the rural areas.
Okay, good, good. Okay. And what's your availability as far as how long does it take you to get to us if we ask you to?
Typically, I would just need about 24 hours notice.
Nice.
So I do have an online calendar, and I can send the website. I think it's actually on the business card, but I do have an online calendar, and I update it 3 times a day, so it's pretty current.
Oh,
And
great.
if for some reason there's a conflict, I will get back to either you or the client and let them know that maybe that time has to be skewed, maybe an hour each way to make it work. But generally, I will definitely make it work for you. Reports, I do get back to you and to the client, and I try to make it a real effort to have it to you by 8 o'clock the following morning.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Anyone else? Kuhn, do you have any questions?
No, no questions. But Roland and I are working on getting a class put together for next month,
Right.
a CE class. So I will announce that as soon as that's ready. Looking forward to working with Roland on that. And I also want to mention that Roland's wife is an interior designer, and she has a business that your clients may want to utilize. So
That's
reach
true.
out.
She is a designer, but she's also a contractor as well. She is an agent and employee specialist, and she's been in business now for about, I guess, 4.5 years. I have to say that I'm quite proud of her. The last 3 out of 5 years, she has been the recipient of the Oregon Home Magazine winner for homes under 3,500 square feet. So it's through her design, and she's got a great team of contractors that she's worked with over the years and really has a strong, strong team that's committed to working with the clients. So again, very proud of what she's accomplished in a very, very short time. If you look at House, in fact, she was just nominated for and awarded Best of House a couple days ago. So again, another great honor for her.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yes. Very nice.
yeah.
Very nice.
Again, thanks for inviting me. And if you have any
Absolutely.
questions, please feel reach out to me, and I will get back to you as soon as you get the call.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you
Thanks,
very much.
Roland.
have a
We'll
good
make
day.
sure everybody has your contact information.
Great. Okay. Thanks again.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Okay, excellent. Yes, thank you for bringing him, Coon. And he's right here in Multnomah Village.
Yep.
All right, let's look at what we got. I knew that. I knew that. Changes everything. So this is I'm going to go to C21 Northstar to look at all of our listings. And it's going to be under my company's active listings. And they're going to be here. And we still have this tall, narrow house as our first house. Uh,
We have several new ones.
okay, but it does say Keller Williams. So there's something wrong with this.
That's because that was buyer side. We were the buyer side. I don't know why that one's popping up.
That's
I think
fine. That's
yeah.
fine. Okay.
Our client purchased it.
Yes. All right. So, anything new? Anything happening, Kuhn?
Yeah, a lot of activity happening in Portland. We have a couple closings to announce. We just had a closing by Tyler yesterday in Forest Grove. So congrats to Tyler. Tyler got that client from putting an ad in a community publication, and he got a client from Seattle. An investor in Seattle was looking to purchase some property in Oregon, contacted Tyler, and he got him under contract and got him this property. So he's looking forward to working with Tyler on other purchases. So I will announce those as soon as those go under contract. We have a closing by Mindy Boston in North Bend, that 3012 Pine Street, the one you were mentioning. That one closed yesterday as well. So congrats to Mindy on that one. Just a reminder, she reached out yesterday requesting assistance on social media, announcing the sale of this property. So if you need assistance with that, reach out to Nick or me to help you put something together so you can post it on your Facebook or Instagram. We have a pending transaction from Taj in Forest Grove as well. So congrats to Taj on getting that one under contract. And we have a couple more closings by the end of the month. So I'll announce those as soon as they come in.
Okay. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Anything new for you, Shauna?
Well, it looks like Taj just listed today a listing in Vancouver. It's gonna go super fast. It's
It's on.
1550.
Yeah, it's on there down below.
It's 1552 square feet, 445,000, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. It's looks like they've done some updating on it. So it's got a really big yard. I see that, and a nice big flat yard, almost a quarter acre, in the city of Vancouver. So I'm expecting we'll see multiple offers on that because there's not a lot of those available under 500,000.
Okay. Okay, so that's two for Taj.
Yep,
That
he's
right?
getting busy. Yep.
Not bad. Okay.
There it is, right there. The 445.
Oh, the 445. Let's look inside.
Yes.
And there is Taj, and there is. Okay, is that a converted garage to you?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, that's a risky thing to do if you're a homeowner. You really got to think about that because you lose square footage, but you lose a garage, but you gain square footage. And
Oh,
what
it's converted. It says 2 car converted. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know.
Seems like everybody uses their garage for storage, so it might not be that big a deal.
Well, yeah, it's true. It's true.
I've seen it work. Yeah, looks well done. What a great update.
Yeah, nice floors. And that's vintage, but it's in good condition.
Yep.
So yeah, just leave it for somebody. They could they could put in a retro kitchen, or they could take it all out and start over.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. All right, that's a good house.
Yeah, he'll get that sold, I bet, before the end of the weekend. Oh, I'm gonna call him, see if he needs open houses done, because I know people who want to do those here in
Yes,
Vancouver.
oh yes, definitely try to do an open house. And I saw
There's Augie's.
something of Augie's. Let's see. They
It was up above.
well, I saw it. What did she say it was?
She is listing 4 bedroom, 2 bath, 1566 square feet in Wilder for 350,000.
It's up.
It's up higher.
There it is. Right there you go. Wilder.
Nice.
Wonderful home.
Wilder, don't we drive through that every time we go there?
It's not far from Ontario. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
And also, it looks like Lee wrote up an accepted offer and Augie closed on his listing on Halibut.
Okay. Nice. Oh, that color's nice in the kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's very good.
I also have two listings coming up if you want me to talk about them.
Please do. What do you got?
I have two condos. One is in Fairway Village, which is a golfing community. This will be my 1, 2, 3, 4, like fifth escrow with this lady. So she's a VIP. We're listing hers probably just under 400,000. It's the largest floor plan condo in Fairway Village, which has got a community center, you know, the pool, the golfing, all that stuff. So it's very sought after area. It is a one level main level condo. Like there's some stairs to go down, but the back patio is a walkout patio to the 8th green. So it's a 2 bedroom, 2 bath, and it's a pretty good sized. It's I think almost 1,200 square feet, and for that area, that's good size. And built in 1982, I believe. And then I have another one coming up in Shorewood East, and that's right on the water. And it's a littler one, and it's around 960 square feet, and it will list in the low 200s, like 224.9, I believe. And that one also has the pool and those kinds of amenities available and parking. So it's one of the nicer places to go for parking. So is the Fairway Village. Some of those condos are harder for parking, but both of these have a lot of parking and you never have a problem showing it or visiting. So that's nice. It's a big plus.
Great.
So those will
Great.
be coming soon within the next few weeks for sure. The Fairway, I'm going to sign documents this Saturday.
Okay. All right. Good work, everybody. Good work. All right. I know we have some events coming up. Lunch and learn. Do we have a lunch and learn?
Yeah, for Portland, we have, well, it's technically going to be breakfast and learn. It's going to be a little earlier this month, 10 a.m. on Thursday, April 24th. We will have Chicago Title doing a Zoom class called Play Defense Against Deal Killers and Obstacles. I think this is going to be a very good class for agents. You know, we are hearing stories of sale fails and whatnot. So let's see what we can do to prevent that. And I think this is going to be a good class. So it will be on Zoom, 10 a.m. Thursday, the 24th. I will send out the flyer as soon as I get that from Chicago Title, and there'll be a link to sign up for the class. I encourage everyone to come, even if it's not if you're not licensed in Oregon. Join us at the Portland office for I'm hoping for some bagels, orange juice and coffee. So yeah, see y'all on next Thursday.
Okay. Okay. Shauna?
Yes, I finally got mine lined up. I wanted to get some space because I wanted to go everybody to try to go to Coons on the 24th because that'll be a good one. So I've spaced mine out a little further. So we are going to be meeting in May 9th at 11:30 here in Vancouver for lunch and learn. We're going to go over Remine and RPR, both classes. She's going to combine them for us so we can do both. I don't know a lot about either one of those programs, so I'm excited to have them come and teach me all about it. And it's what RMLS offers. It helps get contact information for people, and the other one helps with reporting, doing reports on market areas and things like that. So excited about that. And Chicago Title will be hosting it, and RMLS will be conducting. So that'll be a good one here in Vancouver.
Great.
Yeah,
Great.
I'll be I plan on going to that one. So if anybody wants to carpool up there from the Portland office, let me know and we can all go together and
Thank
learn
you.
all about Remine. I think that's a great tool that's free to people who are part of RMLS. So let's utilize everything that we pay for.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. How is the market? That's a great question. How is the market? All right. And most agents know what's happening. Good agents understand what's happening. Great agents can explain what's happening. And what's all this fuss about? Fixed rate mortgages at 6.62%. Is that good?
It's great.
It's great. It's traditionally really good. Traditionally, historically, it's really good. And when I started in real estate 30 something years ago, that's what they were. And everybody was very happy about it because everybody remembered times when they weren't that good. So 6.62, people were very happy to get those loans. And you may as well be happy now because that's where they're going to be for the foreseeable future. So rates moved lower as investors reacted to the news that electronic products were exempt from the newly implemented import tariffs. Oh. However, daily rates are likely to remain volatile in the near future as new policy changes are announced, which is several times a day, as we all know. Yesterday's rate declined, may be short-lived. So the Freddie Mac benchmark on a 30-year fixed went down 0.02. So it's now 6.62 for the week ending April 10th. And I'll check again on Friday because they often give us some rerun the statistics on Friday. The average rate for 15-year was unchanged at 5.82. There's the chart. Spread the word, pass that chart around. So as many people in your sphere know where the interest rates are today. The affordability index, which comes out quarterly, which just came out recently at the end of March, is 89 out of 100. And that's, Kung, I remember you did a report on affordability in the United States, and it was on average up over 100, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little less affordable on the West Coast, in the Portland Metro. But it's been worse, as you can see from the chart. We're hovering under 100, which is kind of a benchmark of where it would be nice to be. The absorption rate that tells us what kind of market we're in, and it's based on the inventory and how long it takes to sell off the entire industry, the entire inventory, which means if we have 5,000 houses for sale today, it would take, and we stopped all activity and did nothing but sell those houses, it would take 3 months to clear out that inventory. So that puts us right at the edge of a seller's market, a market where the conditions generally favor the seller. Okay, an interesting report. Kuhn, do you want to share your screen?
Yep. Let me get that up.
And this is the realtor's take on tariffs and imports and exports.
Yeah, let's see what the economists have to say about what's going on with the imports or the tariffs. Okay. Sorry, let me get this all going on. Okay, what the last 30 years can tell us about tariffs. With headlines buzzing about new tariffs. Sorry, let me get this. There we go. It's normal to wonder how much each state depends on international trade. More broadly, how tied is the U.S. economy, state by state, to the flow of goods coming in and out of the country. While it's too early to assess the impact of the latest trade developments, this is a good time to take a step back and look at the big picture. Tariffs are set at the national level and apply uniformly. However, even though trade policies are made in Washington, D.C., their effects reach much closer to home and do not impact all states equally. Some states have built their economies around global exports, shipping cars, chemicals, or electronics to buyers worldwide. Others import massive amounts of goods, such as car parts, that feed into local industries and supply chains. For example, Texas exports a significant amount of oil and gas, while Michigan is closely tied to auto manufacturing. Meanwhile, states often have different key trading partners. Texas and Arizona are heavily integrated with Mexico, while the West Coast engages in more trade with Asia. Thus, understanding which states are most reliant on trade can help explain everything from warehouse demand and factory job growth to how sensitive an area might be to supply disruptions or price changes. So which states rely most on exports? Surprisingly, Louisiana leads the nation with 26.5% of state GDP coming from exports. The state's energy and chemical industries drive this activity, with massive quantities shipped through its ports to top partners, such as China, Mexico, and the Netherlands. They each receive more than 5 billion in Louisiana products, for example. Other, states with big exports are Texas, who do primarily oil, gas, and chemicals and tech products. On the other hand, large states like New York, Florida, and California rank lower on the export spectrum, not because of a lack of global influence, but due to their economies being driven more by services and finance, tourism, and entertainment. That makes sense. They have a big economy, but they don't rely on those exports. Which states rely most on imports? Kentucky stands out with imports equal to 32.3% of its GDP. That's significantly a higher share compared to other states and reflect the state's deep integration to the global market, especially in pharmaceuticals and automotive industries. Its top import partners are Mexico, Japan, and Taiwan. Other big states with imports being a big part of their GDP are Michigan and Indiana. These states highlight how essential imported parts are for car production and industrial output. That makes sense. They need to import a lot of those parts from other, countries such as China and Mexico to, for their manufacturing. Conversely, more rural or service-driven states like South Dakota, Nebraska, and Wyoming exhibit significantly lower import to GDP ratios, indicating a greater reliance on domestic production and local demand. That makes sense too. These more rural places, will utilize local stuff as well, such as farming and stuff that they can make in their own state. States that rely both on imports and exports, as I mentioned, Kentucky is #1 in imports, and it's also #3 in exports. With robust manufacturing logistics, the state has become a key player in facilitating the movement of goods across borders. #2 is Texas, and Indiana, Michigan, and South Carolina also prominently feature in both categories. As a result, these states are more likely to experience the ripple effects of global supply chain shifts, both positive and negative. A surge in global demand supports their growth, while disruptions, such as factory shutdowns or overseas sudden tariffs, can present challenges as well. This chart, you can click on it if you want more information about your state, but let's take a look at Oregon. Oregon has a 10.3% share of their GDP to exports. Imports are only 8.5% of our GDP. So interesting information. Most of our imports and exports are based around the tech industry in Oregon. So if tariffs affect that industry, it's going to affect our market here. Idaho exports 3.3% of their GDP is according to is based on their exports. And for imports, it is 7%. So they import more than they export. Well, with a share of their GDP. Washington is 7.3 exports or imports, and they export 6.8%.
Washington they make windows.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure that's part of their import-export economy.
Right.
And just as a reminder, most of our trade on the West Coast, are going to be affected by the Asian markets. So let's see what else this article says. It has, not just the economy, but it's going to affect a lot of things such as the job market and labor market. Let's briefly see what they have to say about that. First, in the labor market, thousands of jobs, both directly and indirectly, are tied to global business. However, data indicates that the employment effects of trade policies are multifaceted and vary significantly across states. This is influenced by each state's economic composition and specific industries present. Like I said, Oregon is mostly tech and semiconductor stuff. That said, while trade-dependent states like Texas and Michigan may experience more pronounced fluctuations in their job markets in response to trade policy changes, less trade-reliant states may see more stable employment. The data reveals that since 1994, with the North American Free Trade Agreement, when that came into effect, states with lower trade reliance have actually experienced stronger job growth. Contrary to expectations, low trade-reliant states, where exports accounted for less than 7% of their GDP, saw an average growth rate of 39%. That's pretty good. High trade-reliant states lagged behind with an average job growth of 32%. And in Oregon, we got a pretty high job growth in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Since 1994. What is that? That's actually 20 plus years, 30 plus years.
30 years.
Yeah. And we are a high reliance state. We do a lot of imports and exports, and Idaho is a low reliance state, as you can see that a higher job growth rate.
Looks
Same
like
with
one of the
Washington.
highest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Idaho is like the highest one, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like the job market's more stable when it's not highly reliant on trade. Let's see how the housing market's affected, which is what we really want to know and learn. A similar pattern emerges in housing markets. Home prices have increased more rapidly in states that were less reliant on trade. Low trade reliant states experienced an average home price rise of 291%, while high trade reliant states lagged behind with an average of 237%. Notably, states like Florida, Washington, and Colorado, which have more modest export footprints, saw the most significant housing appreciation. Wow, good stats, especially for Washington. People and income ultimately drive housing markets. The states that led in home price growth were often those with rapid job growth in tech and services, while high levels of domestic migration and limited housing supply or zoning constraints. Meanwhile, states with smaller export shares are less vulnerable to global supply chain disruptions and often attract knowledge economy jobs or retirees, boosting housing demand in urban and suburban areas. There's no doubt that trade created winners. Regions such as Dallas, Houston, and Charleston, Phoenix, they all developed as major logistics hubs. However, the broader data suggests that trade alone wasn't sufficient to elevate housing markets consistently. If the last 30 years have taught us anything, it's that the housing market thrives where people want to live and work, not merely where goods are produced or shipped. So yeah, this map shows the home price growth in the last 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, as you can see, Oregon grew 346%, Idaho 364, and Washington 379. So interesting article. All we're hearing a lot about tariffs going on, and it's interesting to see how it affects our market specifically, and how it affects the housing market and the labor market.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. And things have changed, especially with oil. If you went back 30 years ago, we'd be panicked about importing oil, and that situation has certainly changed. We got a lot of oil here now. We got our own oil. All right. Did I get back? Do you see my screen? I don't think
Mhm.
we-
Yep,
Yes.
local statistics.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sharing the whole screen. That's what it is. There we go. Okay, well, let's run down these real quick. And remember, these boxes, these graphics here, you can drag them to your desktop and drag them to an email attachment, or you can drag them right into the body of an email. That looks nice too. And get this information out there. This was last week till April 10th. And the Portland Metro, 608 new listings, which was down just a touch from the prior week. 59 days on the market, still good. It's down. I was commenting how nice it is to have a good number of days on the market so people can look at those houses. And the median sale price of 568, average sale price of 626. It's always a wider spread in the Portland Metro, probably because of the expensive houses. And this is Clark County, Washington. 160 new listings, down slightly from the prior week. 46 days on the market, and that's coming down too. And the median sales price 542.5 and the average 563.1. So it looks like spring is here. Polk and Marion County, which includes Salem, 64 new listings, which is down. 78 days on the market, which is up quite a bit, 77% from the prior. And the prices are about the same, 442 for a median price and 458.1 for an average sale price. And that is for Salem and Coos Bay, 26 new listings, which is up quite a bit. So they're just getting into the season. 72 days on the market, which is up 700%. So remember, these are weekly figures. So we're going to see these wild changes. But the price is 290 on a median and 292 for the average. So those are about the same. 13 closed sales in Coos Bay in the last week. Okay, and the university, the Century 21 University, these are what I think, and we think at Northstar, are the most important offerings from the Century 21 University. And that's the Accelerate course, which we have one May 5th and June 2nd. And those run over the course of 4 weeks. They're 3 days a week. They're online with up to 100 other realtors within the Century 21 system nationwide.
Do it.
Do it, yes. Virtual Go list. We had one starting in April 8th, and the next one is going to be May 6th. And click on that. I forget if that's Eastern time or what that is, but we'll go to that. Okay, and I just wanted to bring this up, and Shauna and Kung, you're familiar with this. Oh, it goes to print. You're familiar with this, and I see it in your offices. And I just wanted to make sure everybody's aware of this. I should send this out to everybody again because I have. But this is what we offer. This is the Northstar system. This is what we offer our real estate agents, kind of as a program or maybe just as a comprehensive list of resources on how to treat your business like a business, really. And I wanted to make sure everything was here so that instead of us telling you, what to do exactly, you can see an entire overview of what I always say is the last 100 years of how to sell real estate and how to do this business. And a couple of years ago, probably a year ago, I put it all on a chart in one place. And so I thought I'd just go through it very quickly. And one of the important things to try to create a culture within the Northstar group of branches is to meet once a week, what we're doing right now, and kind of share some culture and share some information and perform the most important tasks, which are telling you, what the market is like, what the economists are saying, and information like that. So let's talk real estate. It's also a time to hear from your managers as well, because the managers always attend and present information. The two little gray boxes, no, go next and you have skills and activities. So those are just that, to develop your skills and to practice. And we really like the Mike Ferry system and the Mike Ferry people and Mike Ferry himself. These are people that we respect because they're bringing us the basics. And some people say, oh, well, they're bringing us outmoded things because they're not doing the latest on the internet. Yes, the internet is there. It is something to do, and we include that. Nick teaches social media on is Tuesdays still, Nick?
Tuesdays, yes.
Okay. 9 o'clock on Tuesdays. So we're including everything. So we can take Mike Ferry and add what we feel is important to it. But we always start out Monday with a session on lead generation, and that's a conversation on where you're going to get business this week. Let's talk about that first thing Monday morning. And then we do some things that are important. Handling objections, that's a skill. That's one of your most important skills is how to talk to clients, ask them questions, handle objections. Thursday's the 5-step listing process. I think that's one of our most important things too, so which why we have a whole day titled for it. But if you're not, really proficient with those things, you're at a disadvantage. So if you have not spent some time and come to visit us and see what it is we have to offer and at least know where the resources are to look at those things, that's something that you want to do. Over on the left is professional basics. That's professional is how to run your profession. You have a real estate license, and there are things that are under that license, like taking a listing and writing up a sales transaction and creating a CMA. Those things, you need a license to do those things, and there's a proper way to do them. And you're a member of a trade organization, the realtors that have their own forms. So those are overviews on that. They're usually for new agents, but you can always, if you want some additional information on that to get current, just let us know. And the Northstar Business Basics, that's on there. That Mike Ferry helped us develop that, and we bring that information to you right here, usually at the second half of this Let's Talk Real Estate. We'll choose one of those, and Shauna and I will go through it and look at the bullet points and bring that to you. We also, in our training hub, have the Mike Ferry system. We have his audio that he created years ago so that you could listen to it in your car or listen to it anywhere, and you can just play that on your smartphone anytime you want. And it's all very good information. It's good reinforcement. It's the basics of the business. So have a look at that. And of course, something that why join Century 21? Why pay for a franchise? Well, things like MoxieWorks is why. This suite of programs would be very quite a resource if you had to go out and buy it on the market yourself. And we have it all branded, and we offer support on it. The first thing on the Moxie that I put was the website, and we want to help you with the website. If your website does not have a beautiful, your personal website does not have a graphic on it and a nice drone photograph on it, talk to your manager. We'd like to help you get that, modernize your website, and get it to the point where it's going to drive traffic to you. Because that's the future of websites. They're not just out there as like a old Yellow Pages ad. There has to be stuff in there so that when people are doing internet searches, they're doing Google searches, there's something in your website that's going to attract somebody, like neighborhoods. And you can go restaurants, whatever you want to do. As a realtor, you might think, well, that should be your hobby, is to go out in your area and learn about it and share that information online. And that's the perfect place to do it because you can monetize it. That's your business website. While they're there, they'll also see what's for sale. And while they're there, they'll ask you about what's for sale. So all of these tools are wonderful. And let's see what's next. The Productivity Hub, that's where you check in every time to go to this meeting. Look at what else is there. There are things on the left, and we try to keep that current with information. And there's also another drop-down menu for the training section for things like that. Two more here. We have Northstar Inspire, and that is the accountability groups, which I know are running, as I've talked to all of our managers about that. If you're not in an accountability group, talk to your manager and see if that's something, see what that's all about, because those are very valuable. Kung, you just had a meeting, didn't you?
I did. We have both new agents and experienced agents joining my accountability group. We're meeting every week, talking about our goals, keeping ourselves accountable, and getting back into running our business the way we should be running our business. So if you're interested in joining our accountability group, reach out. We'd love to see you there.
Okay, excellent. And the final one is the Northstar Connect. And what that is leads. So there are leads come and go, is what I'm going to say about leads. And the market is down right now compared to other markets. This is a bit of a tough market for all the reasons that that we just talked about in the how's the market section. So there's a small stream of leads coming off of the major websites. Century21.com is probably the largest of the big brokerage websites. And you know that there are others out there, particularly Realtor.com, which we're just starting to see a few of them come up. And Century 21, the C21 Northstar site, and any other regional sites that Northstar has, those will be coming in. So as those come in, we'll make them available to you. Talk to your manager about that. Talk to your manager about all lead generation programs. In fact, go to your manager and say, I need to get a listing ASAP, and have that conversation with your manager, because we just had a meeting on that with me and the managers, and they have some answers for you. So absolutely reach out to us. But I wanted to bring you this chart again and show you that we are here for you. We are thinking about you, and we have everything laid out that in my 30 something years of experience, this is everything I've seen in one place and easy to understand. So thanks for looking at that.
Fantastic.
And let's see. Okay, well, that's our time. So time flies when you're having fun. All right.
Woo!
Thanks, everybody. Have a great week, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is our time. No, this is our century. Our gold shines bright. Because this is a network unlike any other. 135,000 affiliated agents across 84 countries and territories. In almost every Spanish-speaking country in the world. This is the most recognized name in real estate. The most respected brand in the industry. That has a nice ring to it. The leader in brand awareness 25 years in a row. This is earning accolades. More accolades. And more. Okay, that's a lot. This is making an impression. Over 27 billion of them. This is showing up big. Here, here, and all across here. Oh, and not just for clients, for the community. We're lifting up others with us. This is not resting on a legacy. This is running on it. Taking all that's been learned and seen and taught and dreamed over the past 50 years to shape and fuel the next 100. Century 21. This is our century.